Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. Taking a look under the hood of T-Top. Need to get it clean to a point where it feels comfortable to work on. So when you need to clean up things quick, fast, and in a hurry, you get your leaf blower out. So let's blow this away. So next steps, I'm going to make a small parts order just to get the necessary things that we need to get it to run long enough to see what else is going on with the system. I'm sensing at a minimum the power steering pump and a new water pump and water pump belt. Now the water pump belt runs off of the crank, of course, and comes up to the alternator, so we can get charging RPM up and take a really good look at the rest of the system and make sure we're in good shape. We'll also get a few more gallons in the tank, and maybe we'll run some type of fuel system cleaner to kind of negate the bad gas, if any was actually left in there. Before we get into the garage though, we got to get the outside and the inside cleaned out. If you look real close, you'll actually see specks of paint coming off. Finally got that thing off. Take a look. And here's what's left over, what's fell. And here's what the hood looks like. All right, much better. There's no rot here, thankfully. So just some light surface rust on some of the touch points. But a brand new hood pad will clean all that up. There's supposed to be a shield that goes right there in between those two bolts to kind of protect the hood from all the heat that's coming off of this turbo. I don't see that, so may have to find one or make one. It's really just a flat sheet that's slightly bent. All right, so we got the Buick up on the lift and getting ready to start tackling the power steering pump. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we have air in the power steering system. So if your Turbo Regal is equipped with hydroboost, I want to show you a quick way on how to get all the air out of the system. And it starts with this hose right here. So this hose comes off of the reservoir, and we can use it to get all of the air out of the system. What I'm going to do is I'll pull this hose off and replace it with an even longer hose. And once I clamp it down here, I'll put this side back into the reservoir, but I'll make sure that there's a little bit of space so that this end is not submerged in the liquid. That way all the air can escape and all the fluid can go right back in the system. Now, if we're looking to flush the system out and put fresh fluid in there, you can do that. All you have to do is put this other end into a bucket and make sure that you're refilling the power steering system. That way it's clean, painless, and you don't have to take any hard lines off. Let's do that. After bleeding the hydroboost system and placing the alternator and water pump belts on, feel like we're finally in a position to give it a start up. Now the fan will be spinning, we can finally get it up to temperature, and let's see how she runs. So here it is. It runs, it drives, and now that power steering pump sound is all gone. So I'm gonna take it up and down the block, just see how it drives really quickly. Let's do it. All right, let's see what it does. Sounds good. Car doesn't move like this. Oh man, that turbo sound is addictive. Sorry for all the extra noise, folks. The windows are down and the windows are rattling, but my goodness. It's driving with 87 fuel and it sounds great. That's 35 miles an hour. It's tracking pretty straight. That RPM gauge is busted. The steering and suspension, it doesn't feel as tight as my other one. But it has much more power. I'm very surprised at the amount of power this thing has. And to think, everything is stock on this thing. No adjustable wastegate, no fuel pressure, no chip. I'm shocked, I gotta say. This thing is as stock as they come. I've never seen one so plain, and to imagine they have this kind of power just off of the floor, off of the showroom floor, it's ridiculous. I don't know if you all can see all the rust that's flying off of this thing. It's hilarious to me, but it's unreal. We need to unpack this. Give me a second. Let me park. Just taking off, I noticed that this thing has much more power than my other one. So much so, I know for sure there's something wrong with my other Grand National. This thing has mad power. how can hot air guys get so much flack when this car can move like that? This may have just changed the way I was looking at the whole engine swap situation with my car. Here's this thing. From factory, it's what, 200 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque. This has 276. That has 525. Why does this feel so exhilarating? It's not often that I'm speechless, but I really am. I don't think I can take the engine out of this one. This one's going to have to be a hot air car forever. I finally get it. My incorrect assumption was that my Astra Roof Grand National was every bit hot air as it needed to be. But wow. If this is what hot air is capable of, bone stock, once I put all the great parts that I have on the other one on here, it's gonna be like a whole nother animal. Okay, so we need to talk about the plan. I'm still confused. A few of you have been asking me about the plan. I have these 2 turbo Regals. What am I gonna do with them? I've got Astra Roof with that cracked block, and clearly something else is going on with it because it is not as powerful as that car. And that car's been sitting for 6 years with bad fuel, bone stock. There's no way that should be moving so much quicker than the other one. But I want to record this so I can remember how surprised I was about how fast this car is. And I don't find a reason to upgrade this to an LS. I really don't. And total honesty, here is an aluminum 5.3 LS engine. Okay. Now it was just sitting there waiting for a project for it to be fixed and then go into. Originally, I've been trying to decide between swapping another hot air engine in there, going with a Series 2 3.8 V6, or rebuilding the piston ring, rebuilding this engine and putting that one in there. And I've done pros and cons list. I've done sourcing of parts and prices. I've done it all. And I'm no closer to deciding what I want to do. But that just changed the whole trajectory of where my mind was going. Replacing it with another 3.8 V6 was dead last on my list. And if that is what I should expect when it's done, I don't know, guys. I get it. If I'm surprised about how fast that is, the intercooled cars are going to be even faster. I totally get that. But for ease, price, and smiles, that's a tough proposition to beat. I know I can get another hot air engine for less than $1,000. I don't have to change the transmission. I can rebuild one of these engines in my sleep. I wouldn't have to change out the wiring. That's a weekend project and then I'm done. Versus trips to junkyards, swapping out a whole engine and drivetrain, shortening a drive shaft, wiring, dashboard, speedometer conversions. And let's not forget the most important part. We're taking away what made it at Grand National in the first place, which is the shock value of that turbo V6. What's really funny was I was talking to a new buddy of mine about this particular situation, because he finds himself in a similar boat, and I was going off of the information on how fast my Astra roof car was. I need to go back and reach out to him, because that's a whole nother animal. That's easily 100 horsepower faster than what I was driving. I thought I got it, but I get it even more now. And I was wrong. I just need to think about what's next for Astra roof. What I do know right now, T-top here is going to get bodywork done, floors done, engine fresh up done, and we'll go from there. But Astra roof, I need to start looking for a hot air engine so I can run that scenario. Because this is a lot harder of a decision than I expected. Let me know what you all think in the comments. I just did a burnout in reverse. That car is just crazy. I did a burnout in reverse. What? Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think.